Hey guys, this is a little Suboxone update. Um, Day 34 today. I know I haven't posted in a while. I've been pretty sick for the past 2 weeks. Um, had a really bad upper respiratory infection, sinus infection, which actually turned into an ear infection. Couldn't hear much, was feeling real crappy the past 2 weeks. Finally starting to get better. Um, so anyway, day 34 off of Suboxone. I would say the days are getting better. Not much of a difference between, my last video. I think maybe it was, I don't know, good 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less. Not too much difference. Not feeling bad, really. A little bit, during the day. I did want to give a quick history. I know I didn't give too much history on my past drug use and the time I was using for in much of my videos. Maybe one or two other videos I briefly went into it, but it's pretty important that you guys know. So started doing Vicodin recreationally, on the weekends with friends. Turned into taking Percocets, which quickly turned into taking Roxy's Blues. Probably was doing anywhere between 3 and 8 30 milligram Roxys a day, snorting them always, rarely ate them unless I got an abundance of them. Then I did both, ate them and snorted them at the same time. Really, after that, after I moved to Roxy's, it was pretty much anything I could get my hands on. Oxymorphone, fentanyl, oxycodone, oxycontin, whatever, all of it. Probably for about 3 or 4 years was doing the pain meds, and it got expensive. Obviously, I was doing so much, couldn't afford it even from the beginning, but I was still finding ways to get it, as all of us addicts, always find the means. Got expensive. Somebody who I was getting the pain meds from introduced me to heroin, started snorting it. I didn't graduate from that to shooting it. Came pretty close. I actually had somebody who was heavily into shooting heroin talk me out of it the one time that I was considering. Thank God, because I probably wouldn't be here had I started doing that. I went to an NA meeting with my girlfriend's sister and a couple other people, and I was still using at the time. Didn't really give any thought to quitting until I actually went to this meeting, saw all these people that have been through the same thing I was going through. So started going to meetings. Went to a Suboxone doctor because I had thought that would be the cure, and I wouldn't go through withdrawals, whatever. I didn't know too much at the time, I guess, about it. And Suboxone makes you feel good too. I mean, maybe in the beginning, but I mean, throughout the whole thing, really, I think it does get you high. Definitely makes you numb. I had really no feelings for the past 10 years. I was on Suboxone for I think 5 years. Started at 32 milligrams, super high dose. Was on that for not long. Tapered down. Didn't get rough until under 4 milligrams. Really, it started to get a little bit difficult to keep tapering down. So, as an addict would, I kept telling the doctor, I don't want to go down. I still feel shitty after a month of trying to get used to the new dose, which I'm sure I felt fine at the time, but I just didn't want to lower the dose and go through it again, after the month of going through the adjusting to my new dose. So that went on for a long time, years, really. Was able to get down to I don't know, half a milligram, and I just stopped seeing the doc. I had a bunch left over, and was getting whatever. Probably another, I don't know, year or year and a half. I was taking it, dosing myself. I was weaning down, but not the right way. Started skipping days. Probably wasn't, I wasn't really skipping every single day, but I was skipping days. It was pretty horrible the way I was doing it, but I did end up getting my taper down to about a quarter of a milligram intake per day. I would roughly, because I did end up skipping at the end. I was good with skipping, for a couple of months. So I was able to get it to roughly a quarter of a milligram a day, which I think made a huge difference. And I mean, day 34, I still get, these feelings, these withdrawal type of feelings. And I mean, these past couple of weeks, I'm not sure if I can tell the difference between, if it was my upper respiratory infection giving me all these aches and fatigue and whatnot. But, I've been feeling better the past 2 days, and I'm still kind of feeling all the, light withdrawal feelings every now and again. It's not so bad, but it's not that noticeable. Still not too motivated. Um, you know, Pretty fatigued. Don't really have that much energy still. I mean, I am getting my energy back. It's not hard to get up anymore, and get moving to do things. Getting up in the morning to go to work isn't nearly as hard as it was. I still have some pretty major bouts of depression. Those are actually coming a little more frequently now. I guess I'm kind of starting to hit into the post-acute withdrawal phase of this, but yeah, it's not so bad. It's just I was um, it was a lot worse 20 days ago, you know 25 days ago than it is now, obviously, because I'm mostly over the physical part, but I do get these lingering waves, I guess, of just bad feelings, fatigue, sweating. It's short. I almost forget about it at this point, when it starts happening. If I get up and start moving around, it's gone. The bouts of depression are pretty short. They're pretty intense. I mean, they'll pretty much stop me in my tracks from whatever I'm doing, and just then I'm just on this feeling of hopelessness. But again, it passes. It's not that frequent either. A couple times a day, maybe. Pretty anxious today, though. Today I had a lot of anxiety. I was sitting still for most of the day at work today. Um, that was probably why. I'm usually moving around a lot more. Um, so I mean, yeah, my anxiety's been pretty through the roof uh, as of late. But again, it's not that bad. I mean, put it this way: the withdrawals from Suboxone, I would say, is like comparing a spring shower to a hurricane. And I read that on a forum somewhere, actually. Somebody used that same term. And I agree with it because, maybe I was in full blown withdrawal one time, I would say, from full opioids. Um, and it was the worst thing I've ever experienced by far. And honestly, the worst days off of Suboxone were night and day compared to full blown withdrawal from heroin and oxys and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, a huge difference. I think it's more of the length of the Suboxone. You're not feeling good. It's a hopeless feeling that you're gonna keep feeling that way forever. It lasted for a long time for me. It lasted for like 2 weeks. That painful, physical, draining part, and not just that, but not being able to sleep. I mean, I feel like you can't really your body can't really heal itself if you're not sleeping, and probably one of the hardest parts of this whole thing has been getting sleep. I'm up at 4 o'clock every morning, trying to go to bed between 11 and 12, taking a ton of melatonin. It's been helping me get knocked out, but again, I'm up at 4 every morning, on the nose pretty much. Lately, I have been able to go back to sleep before I have to get up and start moving for work. Um, but yeah, it's not that much better. It's been really slow getting my sleep back. I'm not even halfway there yet, and that's draining, really. I mean, right now, that's the worst part about it, is the lack of motivation, a little bit of fatigue waves, and the sleep. That's it. I mean, once you get through that first week where you can function, it's not like a full blown withdrawal like you've been through with with the full opiates. It's a lot more calm, I would say. And I was able to function. I went to work every day. I did leave early, 1 or 2 days, but it was 20 degrees in my job, and I made it. I made it through. I was a little bit productive, um, but I made it. 34 days in now. I'm I'm feeling great about it. Um, One thing I did want to get into, uh, damn, I had this whole thing on the drive home. I was trying to remember what I wanted to say. I had it. It was great on the ride home, but my girlfriend told me stop taking videos while you're driving, so not gonna do that. But I mean, one thing I will say is if I can get through this, I mean, really anybody can. You just have to do it right. If you don't do it right, you won't be able to do it. You need to taper slow at comfortable pace. Get down to a quarter milligram. I wouldn't jump off on anything higher, really. Maybe a half a milligram, but not even. Why? Get yourself down to a quarter milligram. At that point, it is mostly mental, I think. Definitely physical as well, especially since I was on it, for 5 years. I had a lot built up in my system, so I mean, I did have to detox it out. It was pretty, it was shitty for a couple days, but after those, you go down, 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 down. It's rough, for those first few days, but after a week and a half, you slowly start to come up a bit. I still do have days where I don't feel that great about really anything. But again, it comes and goes. It comes in waves. So you just gotta stay focused. I think this was the best thing I've ever done, was getting off this shit. And like I said, if I can do it, you guys can too. And you just gotta really want it. And you have to do it right. Don't go jumping off at 8 milligrams, 4 milligrams. Because like I read horror stories about withdrawal symptoms going on for 60 days. I didn't think it was possible, but I mean, I don't know, because I still do feel a little bit shitty sometimes, and I'm past day 30 right now, and I can imagine if I jumped off from, a higher dose, had more in my system, I probably probably could have lasted upwards of, 60 days maybe, I don't know, but it wouldn't be, as bad as they described. Everybody says full-blown withdrawal for 60 days. You don't even go through full-blown withdrawal from Suboxone withdrawal. It's more drawn out. More draining than anything. That's the problem with Suboxone withdrawal. That's why everybody says it's so hard. It's not because it's so painful. It's so draining, and like every step of this whole detox has just drained me. I can't sleep, no energy, slowly coming back my energy, very, very slowly, but I mean, it's just draining, But I will say, been feeling good, you know, aside from this major sickness that I just had for the past 2 weeks. I mean, mentally, I'm pretty good. I have some bouts here and there, but I'm good. I mean, if I can get this far, you can too. Trust me. If you got any questions, anything like that, put it in the comments, message me, whatever it is, anything. Won't be making that many videos. One more thing I did want to talk about. Since I started on the Suboxone, cravings have pretty much been non-existent, and I mean, even jumping off the Suboxone, cravings are pretty much non-existent, and I think that's pretty amazing, because I remember the cravings in withdrawal, even not even in withdrawal from Roxy's and all that kind of thing. All you're thinking about is getting more. You're just craving more and craving more and craving more. That's the feeling that really, I think, makes a lot of addicts relapse. Is just that the cravings you get from it, and it's intense. It's one of the worst parts of full-blown withdrawal is the cravings. But you know what? I think Suboxone has just, it's eliminated the cravings for me. The only type of cravings that I think I might have is just every now and then the word Suboxone will pop into my head, but it's not like I want to take it. You know what I mean? Like, just the word, for some reason, it just pops into my head, and I think about the word Suboxone, but it kind of, it's not even a craving. It doesn't even make me want to take it, because I wouldn't take it if I had it, regardless. But I just wanted to throw that in. Like I said, any questions, any, taper questions, anything like that, you just want to talk, whatever, shoot me a message.